Welcome back, my dear Midnight Wanderers. You're just in time. I was about to tell a tale of a charming little house on White Oak Street. Cozy, quaint, and also inviting. The perfect home for a young family. Except, some homes don't want new owners. Some remember. They remember the screams, the blood, and the ones who never left. And when the walls get hungry, they whisper, they breathe, they wake up. Before we step inside, be sure to stay tuned to the very end of this episode. There's a killer announcement you won't want to miss. Trust me, you'll want to hear this. Or else, it might come looking for you. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe, turn on all notifications, and hit that like button. But be careful, hit it too hard, and it just might hit back. Now then, on to tonight's story. And I call this one The Yellow House. Enjoy.
The house on White Oak Street had been empty for years. A small, one-story yellow house with white trim. Charming, but eerily close to the old cemetery behind it. To Sarah and James, newlyweds searching for their first home, it seemed perfect. They ignored the real estate agent's vague warning.
Some people say it has a history.
They didn't ask. They didn't want to know. The first few nights were peaceful. Then the house woke up.
You don't belong here.
Sarah gasped awake, her body rigged with terror. She turned to James, expecting comfort, but he just groaned, pulling the covers over his head.
Again? Sarah, it's a nightmare. Go back to sleep.
But it wasn't just a nightmare. And every night, she dreamt of men screaming, bleeding, rotting. Every night, she woke up alone in her fear. She barely spoke of them to James, but the lack of sleep made her irritable. So did the house. The air felt thick, suffocating. Shadows pooled in places where light should have reached. The bathroom lights flickered at exactly 3 a.m., the same time every night. Then, her best friend Lisa visited. Lisa had barely stepped inside when she froze in the doorway, her face paled.
I can't be here.
She turned and walked straight back to her car, slamming the door and peeling out of the driveway. Sarah never heard from her again. James just scoffed.
You and your friends are feeding into this haunted house nonsense.
Sarah clenched her jaw.
Then explain the lights, James. Explain why Ethan's toys keep going off by themselves. Explain why I keep waking up feeling like something is on top of me.
James sighed.
Stress, Sarah. You're stressed.
He kissed her on the forehead, but his lips were ice cold. James was brushing his teeth when he saw the movement, a shadow behind him in the mirror. He turned. Nothing. But in the mirror's reflection, a man in a cowboy hat, dirty, tilted forward, shadowing in his sunken eyes, his mouth twisted into a grin, rotting teeth, blackened gums. James stumbled back as his heart was hammering. The cowboy's head snapped sideways, bones cracking unnaturally.
You see me now.
James bolted from the bathroom. The lights exploded. Sarah ran in.
What the heck is wrong with you?
James was panting, gripping the sink.
I saw something.
Sarah stood there with her arms folded.
Oh, so now you believe me?
James said nothing. A week later, they sent their 3-year-old son, Ethan, to stay with his grandmother. That night, Sarah woke to the sound of crying. She bolted upright. Ethan wasn't home. James groggily checked his phone, scrolling through the security cameras. Nothing. The hallway was empty. gripped James' arm.
James, that's Ethan's voice.
James sat up, now fully awake. The door handle twisted violently. James leapt out of bed, yanking the door open. Nothing, only the cold, empty hallway. Sarah turned to James.
You believe me now?
James didn't answer, but the doubt in his eyes were gone. The house grew bolder. The cowboy leered at James from every reflection. The mimic whispered through the baby monitor. The faceless man crawled across the ceiling, his limbs bent the wrong way. The woman in the bathroom sink wept blood. Sarah and James stopped sleeping. They stopped talking. The house was draining them. Then, one night, Sarah woke up alone. James was missing. She found him in the bathroom, standing in the bathtub, eyes blank, holding a razor to his wrist. She lunged for him, grabbing his wrist. One more. The lights exploded. The entire house shook. James gasped, blinking in confusion. Sarah dragged him out of the bathroom.
We're leaving.
James hesitated.
Sarah, we can't just...
I said, we're leaving.
She grabbed Ethan from his bed, still half asleep. By sunrise, they were gone. They didn't take their furniture. They didn't look back. They ran. A month later, a new family moved in. That night, their 4-year-old daughter knocked on her parents' door.
Mommy, Daddy, I'm scared.
What a homey little nightmare. Just goes to show. Fiends, when a house says it doesn't want new tenants, you should probably ghost the lease. If you had a scream with this tale, be sure to like and share it with your fellow ghouls. After all, horror is best served with friends. And if you want to wear your fear, check out the merch. Just be warned, some says it has a life of its own. But don't be surprised if it gives you chills, even when you're not wearing it. Now, for my grave announcement. Something truly to die for. The next episode drops on October 3rd, and that means it's time to unleash Mr. Cemetery's Horror Fest. Normally, Terror Tales creeps in your ears every other week, but this October, the rules have changed. For 5 Fright-Filled Fridays, you'll get a brand new episode every single week. That's 5 sinister stories, 5 chilling nightmares, and 5 weeks of screams served fresh. Because nothing says spooky season like a weekly descent into darkness. Now we're starting off with a tale that will make you think twice before raiding your Halloween candy. In a quiet town, a particular candy maker appears overnight, offering treats no one can resist. No, but these sweets come at a terrible cost. And by the time the children realize what's happening, the hunger has already begun. So sharpen your fangs, lock your doors, and prepare for a month-long celebration of fear. Join me for Horror Fest, if you dare. Until next time, when the house tells you to get out, don't argue. Unless you really like redecorating in blood.